Iain from RTO here. Welcome to another week of reviewing and pulling bits apart and all the usual good stuff. But before we start, I'd just like to thank Barry for his birthday bash live stream from Classic Album Review on Saturday night. We had a really good time, nice conversations, talking about good music. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So once again, I don't know if you're going to watch this, Barry. You said you was going to watch me. But thank you very much for a great evening entertainment. Okay, what we're going to start off with this week. Well, this is one of my choices. I finally got round to doing one of my choices of a band that I discovered about 2 or 3 years ago. And, you know, during COVID, I sort of heard of them. And I've heard of Steve Wilson, of course. So we're talking about Porcupine Tree. But I'd never really listened to their stuff. I'd listened to one or two bits. So I thought, okay, let's really start listening to Porcupine Tree. And I'm now a big fan. I love their music. I think it's all different. Every time they get an album, there's something different on it. They haven't put out a bad album at all. The band at the moment is Steve Wilson, Richard Barbary and Gavin Harrison. Another mainstays were Chris Maitland on drums from 1993 to 2002 and Colin Edwin, the fantastic bass and double bass from 1993 to 2010. And of course the good news is we've got a new album coming out. Its release date I think is the 24th of June, I do believe, and it'll be called Closure and Continuation, and there's the cover. So I've already got all the artwork out there, so looking forward to that one, like I think a lot of people are, because it's been a long time since we have had a Porcupine Tree album. So we're going to concentrate today on the 10 albums that are out. So let's get cracking. So coming in at number 10 then, we're going to go with the debut album, On the Sunday of Life, released in 1992. Basically this is Steve Wilson doing all the stuff, and he just got a couple of people in to help. We've got some additional drums from John Marshall on the Third Eye Show at Surfer, and Solomon St. Germain additional guitar and voice on Queen Quotes even, and Crowley Master Timothy Masters on the oboe. First track on this album is called Music for the Head. This is atmospheric, I'll give it that, but there's not much melody to it. It's more just like a load of noises. Really weird. I'm not quite sure about that one, never have been. Then we get Jupiter Island. It's got one of them horrible drum machine beats that really doesn't sit well on this track. You don't need that. You need a proper drummer, and that's it, because the bass line and the keyboard work is great. Then we get this Third Eye Surfer. Very disjointed. It doesn't flow at all. It's a bit confusing and a little bit too busy for me. Then we get On the Sunday of Life. The keyboards are all right in this, but again it's a little bit disjointed, doesn't go anywhere, seems to be going off in tangents all the time. Then we get the Nostalgia Factory. I love this. It does remind me a little bit of a Hawkwind, and it's got a little bit of structure to this one. It is a really strong track. Really good track. Space Transmission. I struggle with this one. It's just like clicking clocks, whispering voices, and it's got no melody at all. Message for Self-Destructing Turnip. It's 27 seconds of nothing. Radioactive Toy. This is a sublime track. It's one of the best tracks on the album. It's just got some it takes you on a mystical journey through Steve Wilson's mind. It's really, really good. We got 9 Cats. It's not too bad. A little bit of acoustic music, very pleasant. Then we get Him. Oh, this is just very disjointed again. It's very hard to concentrate when songs are disjointed. Footprints. I like this. This is very early Pink Floyd. It's Syd Barrett days. It's good. Then we get Linton Samuel Dawson. You know, one of my favourite sayings. You've got 5 musicians all playing different stuff. This is Steve Wilson playing all the instruments, but he's forgetting what he's done on the previous layers. It doesn't flow. The vocal effect drives you insane. It's just got the same effect on me as someone putting their hand down a chalkboard. Oh, really irritates me. Then we get And the Swallows Dance Above the Sun. Bit of a quirky filler there. It's alright. Queen quotes Crowley. I struggle with this. It's just a nightmare. Till it's an experimentation album. No luck with Rabbits. Yeah, 6 instruments doing different things. Again, it doesn't make no sense whatsoever. Begonia Seduction Scene. This is quite nice. Pastiche and flute and acoustic guitars. It's got a nice melody and I like that one. The Long Silence. Oh, it's got a high pitched keyboard sound on it that really irritates my ears. Never play that under the headphones. And the last track, It Will Rain for a Million Years. One of the best tracks on here. Some nice keyboards, a little bit of atmospheric on here. Weird lyric, but that's fine. For me, this was a very adventurous album to put out as a Porcupine Tree. Although it's basically Steve Wilson. For a start, there's too many tracks on it. There's 18 tracks on this. There's some good tracks. Trust me, there are some good tracks, but there's a lot of filler on this one. But for the good tracks, I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7.5. And you could see there was something there. Okay. Coming in at number 9 then. Go to the second album, released in 1993. Up the Downstair. On here it's Steve Wilson on his own again, but he has now brought in the fantastic Colin Edwin on the bass, Richard Barberi on the electronics on the Up Downstairs, and Susan J. Barbari on the vocals on Up the Downstairs. Up the Downstair even. Okay, the first track on this one is What Are You Listening To? It's a 58-second thing, and it is. What am I listening to? A really annoying intro. That's all I'll say about that. Then we get Synthesizer. It's quite upbeat and rocky. Nothing wrong with that one. Quite a good solid song. And then we get 20 seconds of nonsense. Moments burn into moments. 20 seconds. Why don't you just add it on to the end of one or the beginning of another? Always Never like this track. Great guitar solo in it. Excellent track. The title track, Up the Downstair, is pretty good. It's a bit of a psychedelic pop sound. Not too bad. Got some nice guitar work in this, and the little bit of vocals here from Suzanne J. Barbari was pretty good. Not a bad track at all. Not Beautiful Anymore. It's quite slow. It's got some nice guitar touches in it. It's not a bad track. Siren is just a load of sound effects for just under a minute. Small Fish though, love this. It's my favourite track on the album. The guitar work is really nice. and it's got that combination of both acoustic and electric guitars, and the solo is amazing. Very good track. Burning Sky. This is a combination of prog rock and space rock. The keyboard work on this is fantastic. It's not a bad track at all. Fade Away. It's got a lot of chanting in it. Lift, very dreamy, solid track. You can fade away on that one. This album is a little bit more coherent than the debut. It actually's got a little bit more structure. It's got some really good stuff on it, and there is a couple of bits that are a little bit disjointed too, but it's a vast improvement on that debut album. Okay, so we'll give this one an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 8 then, we go to the 6th album. And I know this is a lot of fans' favourite. It is a good album, but there's a reason why it's down here, and it's Lightbulb Sun. Forming on this, it's actually a proper band now. We've got Steve Wilson on the vocals, guitars, pianos, anything he can get his hands on. Richard Barberi on the synthesizers and Hammond organ, the mellotron. Colin Edwin on the bass and Chris Maitland on the drums. First track on here is the title track, Lightbulb Sun. Very rocky, got a nice heavy ring to this one. Really good solid track, like that one a lot. How Is Your Life Today? Love the piano work on this. This is a nice track, nice harmonies. I do love Steve Wilson when his harmonies, because it's all him, and how he layers it. It sounds very good, and it's very clever that he can do different tones and pitches. Really good track. 4 Chords That Made Me a Million. Very psychedelic and very accessible psychedelic track. You know, it's a very good track for people that want to sort of get into psychedelic sort of music, and I think this is one of them tracks that sort of, it's not too weird enough, but it's still got a nice melody. It's something you can listen to. She Moved On, pleasant song, got again some nice harmonies on this, but it's not really a Porcupine Tree sort of track. It's very mellow. It is good. Then we get another great track, The Last Chance to Evacuate Planet Earth Before It's Recycled. Love this. Again, very mellow track, very nice pastiche sounds, nice harmonies, very, very good. The Rest Will Flow, very, very pleasant melody, nice vocals again. Hate Song, Colin Edwin's bass line, terrific. I love his bass lines, they're so rich and solid. It's my favourite track on the album, this is. I love these riffs on this are really strong. Then we get Where We Would Be. Bit of a different departure for the band. It's very radio friendly, but it's very good. Russia on Ice, really good track. Nice harmonies. It's not progressive though, but it has got that psychedelic feel to it. And then Feel So Low, again, really good song. Nice melodies, nice harmonies, a really strong song. Good way to end the album. This is a really good album, but it's not. It's a bit of a different direction they went in. This is so mellow, and it reminds me of a band from Iceland called Sigaroo, a band that we will be doing this year, and it's very pastiche and like that. It's a fantastic album. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.5. Okay, coming in at number 7. Go to 1996 now, to the 4th album, Signify. And on here we have got Steve Wilson again, Richard Barberi, Colin Edwin and Chris Maitland. Born, Live, Die. It's one of them classic introductions on a Porcupine Tree album. Lots of atmosphere, lots of talking. It's really good. I love how they've arranged that. Very, very good. Signify, the title track. Quite a rocky psychedelic track. Really strong bass line here from Colin. Really adds to the atmosphere on this. Good track. Sleep of No Dreaming. This is a dreamy song. This is just right. Again, we got a great bass line from Colin. It just sends you off into a dream somewhere. Very ambient, atmospheric, excellent track. Pagan, just an atmospheric interlude piece. Nothing wrong with that. Then we get Wait in phase 1. Love this. The guitar work from Steve Wilson. Superb stuff. It's got lots of textures, lots of ambient sound. It sounds brilliant. Then we get Wait in phase 2. It continues with this atmospheric track. Love the production on this. Really solid track. Sever. It's a pleasant enough track. It's sort of going more pop than psychedelic prog. It just sits there on the album as a pleasant enough track. It's got a lot of atmosphere to it. Idiot Prayer. It's got a techno drum beat in it, but it works on this. It adds to the ambience of this track. I do like it. Then we get Every Home Is Weird. This is a mixture of Pink Floyd and Sigaroo. Very, when you listen to this track, you pick out little bits of Floyd, little bits of Sigaroo. Very, very good. Then we get my favourite track on here, Intimate Jesus. Chris Maitland and Colin Edwin are fantastic on there. They work so well together. This is a bit of a jazzy fusion rhythm sound. The great guitar work from Steve Wilson. It's the sort of track that you got 2 or 3 genres combined well together. You've got the psychedelic side of things, you've got the rock side, you've got the space rock, the progression. It's all fits in lovely, and it's a very, very good track. Light mass prayers, keyboard swirls and ambient sounds. Terrific stuff. Dark Matter. Yeah, it's an ambient, atmospheric style track, and lovely harmonies. The harmonies on this, I like that acoustic guitar that adds a little bit of texture. And then you think it's the end, and then you get this hidden track, and it's telling us about electric shock therapy, and then you get this guitar work. It's very, very good. Weird way to end an album, but very an enjoyable album. Again, this is a brilliant atmospheric album with ambient sounds. Really strong album. As I said, so hard to rate these albums because they're all good on different merits. And so I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 9 out of 10. You know, giving a 9 out of 10 for an album that sits at number 7 in your ranking. This is how hard it is. So coming in at number 6 then, we go to 2005 for Deadwing. This has got Steve Wilson, Richard Barberi, Colin Edwin, and Gavin Harrison is now on the drums. Got some guest musicians on here. We've got Mikael, I never can pronounce his name, Mikael Alderfelt from Orpeth, another really good band on here, and Adrian Bello from King Crimson. So the first track is the title track, Deadwing. I love this. This is heavy rock and roll sort of sounding, excellent track, great riffs on this. Shallow, again, brilliant, strong riffs on this, very good rocker. Then we get the fantastic Lazarus. This is just an amazing track. I love them harmonies, I love the mellow sound, I like the piano and strings, really superb stuff. Again, we get another great track, Halo. Great bass line from Colin Edwin, terrific. And some good drumming here from Gavin Harrison, who is a superb drummer. Solid track. Arriving somewhere but not here. Starts off mellow. Thinks you're getting into this dreamy place, and then all of a sudden you get that absolutely belting rock, alternative rock riff. It's just brilliant. Love that track. Then we get the Mellotron scratch, another ambient sounding track, really nice sound. Obviously you get a little bit of Mellotron on there, really good. Open Car, solid track. Love the bass line again on this, really good rock track. Start off Something Beautiful. I love the texture on this track, the guitar work is fantastic, brilliant stuff. And then Glass Arm Shattering. I just love the ambience again, strong riffs, absolutely brilliant. This album, I think, is one of the heaviest albums from Porcupine Tree. But as I've said, every album is different and is strong in their own merits, and this is another album that I enjoy listening to. And I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9.1. Okay, coming in number 5. This is the 10th album, at the moment the most current one. It's a double album released in 2009, and it's The Incident. So on here we've got Steve Wilson, Colin Edwin, Richard Barbari and Gavin Harrison again. Now this opens up with a track called The Incident. It's a 55-minute track that's broken down, so it's a long track but it's broken down really well. So the first bit of the track is called A Cam's Razor. I love these little pieces they put at the beginning. It's mixed with a gentle acoustic guitar. It is really strong. Then the next piece is called The Blind House. I love this track. Very Alter Bridge, all Creed sounding. Great rock track. Great Expectations. This is another little short piece. Starts off with some nice rich acoustic guitar, and then you get that little bit of electric guitar coming in and out with a really strong vocal from Steve Wilson. Kneel and Disconnect. This has got another nice mixture of acoustic guitar and piano and some really nice harmonies. Very, very good. Drawing the Line. Another great bit. Very delicate. Barbari's keyboards are really good. Good solo from Steve Wilson. Then we get The Incident. This is fantastic. This is actually my favourite piece on the whole album. For a start, it's using a drum machine to the band's advantage. It's gritty. It's got dirty bass lines, and I think as I said, the drum machine is used great on this. Then you get real drums coming in, and Gavin Harrison is superb on this. He's a little gem of a drummer. The riffs of this are very strong, and it is my favourite song. Then you've got Your Unpleasant Family. It's okay. It's a bit acoustic, but I think it just tries and breaks up the energy of what we've had so far. And then it goes back into another ambient sort of track, The Yellow Windows of the Evening. Again, it just starts building it back up. And then we get Time Flies. This is sort of split into two. You've got the ambient start, and it keeps coming up, and then you get this mind-blowing stuff. You can just sit and listen to this and go away with the fairies. This whole track, it's just fantastic. Degree Zero of Liberty, strong riffs again. We're really getting in some good power chords. Then we get Octane Twisted, Starts off again with some nice guitar work, real hard rocking track, great drumming on that. The Seance, hard rocking, it's nice acoustic bits in it as well, really good. Circle of Manias, Gavin Harrison's drumming on this is immaculate. Some intricate stuff, really good strong riffs as well. The last bit of this song is called I Drive the Hearse. This is a little mini epic within an epic. Nice gentle psychedelic track, keyboards and flute, lovely way to end this little bit of track. Then we get a track on disc 2 now called Flicker. Strong track, nice ambient sounds on it, harmonies again, the Wilson harmonies sound brilliant. Then we get Bonnie the Cat, very space rock, very Hawkwind, but there's nothing wrong with that. Black Dahlia, it's just one of them nice acoustic guitars, little overtones of little electric pieces come through, very very good. Remember Me Lover, God, this has got a dirty mean riff in it. Keyboards give it that extra depth, and I love the vocal from Steve Wilson. I think this is a very ambitious thing to put out one track 55 minutes long, but the way they split it up, it doesn't make it boring, and you, before you know it, you've listened to side 1 or the first disc. Brilliant album. I love playing this album. I mean, that the incident just flows. It's not disjointed. As I said, it's, you know, it's a big track with 5 or 6 the tracks in between, but it's fantastic. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9.2. Okay, this is where it really started getting hard. These 4 albums are just brilliant. Took a long time to get this top 4 sorted, but today this is what we're going with. Coming in number 4 then, we go from 2007, and it's the 9th album, Fear of a Blank Planet. Steve Wilson, Richard Barberi, Colin Edwin and Gavin Harrison. We've got some guests on here. We've got Alex Lifeson from Rush, Robert Fripp from King Crimson, got John Wesley backing vocals, and the orchestra is the London Session Orchestra. First track opens up with the title track, Fear of the Blank Planet. I love the little bit of guitar, the acoustic guitar with that little drum beat, some really nice textures on that. My Ashes, superb this is. I love the strings and the acoustic guitar together. It's so dreamy, delicate, mysterious vocal from Steve Wilson and some dreamy keyboards. Then we get Beneath the Ties. Brilliant. It's got lots of good riffs, delicate sounds, and the guitar from Alex Lifeson is fantastic. Really adds to this track. What a good guitarist we know that he is. You get a bit of heavy rock in this, progressive and psychedelic rock, all rolled into one. Best track on the album. Sentimental. Keyboards from Barbarian are brilliant on this, and the drums from Gavin Harrison. So an underrated drummer, I can't praise him enough. They really own this track. It's a fantastic piece of music. Way Out of Here. This is progressive rock in the 2000s. What adds to this though is the guitar work from Mr. Fripp. We know he's a great guitar player. It's a great track. You've got Steve Wilson, bit of a genius himself, 2 great prog people on one track, brilliant. Sleep Together, which is the last track, driving rock riffs, some atmospheric keyboards swirling around the guitar riffs, great way to end the album. Top to bottom, this album is just unbelievable. As I said, this top 4 is just so hard to rank. But I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9.3. Coming at number 3 today, we have the 5th album released in 1999, Stupid Dream. We have got Steve Wilson, Richard Barberi, Colin Edwin, and Chris Maitland does the drumming on here. Guest musicians are Theo Travis playing flute, and the East of England Orchestra conducted by Nicholas Koch. The first track is called Even Less. Some great drumming here from Chris Maitland. I think Porcupine Tree have been very lucky to have 2 strong drummers. The riffs in this are good. The keyboards from Richard are fantastic. Very, very good track. Piano lessons. Strong track. Vocals are great. Even that high-pitched guitar sounds really good. It is really amazing music that you just get lost in. Stupid Dream. So half a minute of keyboard interlude with atmosphere. Let me get my favourite track on this album, Pure Narcotic. I like that. The guitar and the strings worked well together, but what adds to this is that layer of piano. It just really holds the song together. Absolutely belting track. Slave, called Shiver. A little bit different. I love the drumming. It's a funky sort of sound. A little bit different, as I said, for this album, but really fits in well. Great track. Don't Hate Me. This is very jazzy in places, and it's got a saxophone on it. Reminds me a little bit of the Van de Graaff Generator, because I used to have sax on their stuff. It's really, really good. This is No Rehearsal. Chris Maitland's drumming on this is superb. Love that track. Baby Dream in Cellophane. The acoustic guitar is brilliant on this, and then you get some electric guitar working well on this. They sort of twine into each other, but what adds to this is that delicate keyboards and piano. Nothing heavy, it's just delicate pieces all through the piece. Very psychedelic. Stranger by the Minute. It's very good. It's the sort of thing you get with Steve Wilson's magic, but the guitar on here sounds very Steve Howell from Yes as well. It's a very, very good track. A Smart Kid begins very ambient, and then you get lots of little touches on the guitar. Fantastic track. Teen Toe Brass. Colin Edwin's bass line is brilliant. And then you get this little bit of flute in it. It's fantastic. Stop Swimming. Another track with lots of different textures and layers. Some phenomenal drumming from Chris Maitland on here. The keyboards are fantastic. A little bit of this mystique vocal from Steve Wilson. Great way to end the album. Again, another fantastic album. Play this one a lot. But what I keep saying that you just don't know what you're going to get from this band. This is more mellow and progressive, and it's got some great sounds on it. And I'll give this an RTO ranking of 9.4. Okay, the top 2. This has swapped over. When I sort of put the final touches to this on Saturday, I changed it again because I thought I've got to listen to these 2 again. And today I've gone with this, but probably next week if I listen to it I'll put it the other way round. So coming in at number 2 we have the 7th album, released in 2002 in Absentia. First to feature Gavin Harrison, and it was a more progressive metal direction. So we got Steve Wilson, Richard Barberi, Colin Edwin and Gavin Harrison. Opens up with The Blackest Eyes. Gavin Harrison, first track you hear him play, brilliant. It's got some strong rock track riffs on here from Steve Wilson, fantastic. Trains, again I love that mixture of the electric guitar and acoustic guitar clinging to each other and coming at this union of guitar sound. Then little textures on the keyboards from Richard coming through, gives you that extra feel. Excellent track. Lips of Ashes, again I love this. Great guitar work from Steve Wilson. His vocals are on here are amazing. It's them harmonies that he creates just add to this. The sound of Muzak. Drumming from Gavin is absolutely brilliant. Intricate drum work on this. The riffs, it just works. Them riffs work around the drums. Very, very good. Gravity eyelids. Very psychedelic. Great rocker, some great riffs and keyboard work on that track. Then we get Wedding Nails, which is a instrumental. It's just a nice psychedelic space rock sounding track, really good. Protocol, a little bit of Mellotron in this. Everyone loves the Mellotron. It's a solid track. Then we get a track called 3. Bass line from Colin, one of his best. It's just ambient bass line, fantastic, really adds to that track. The Creator has a master tape. Again, more great bass on this. The start is weird, but it just goes into a really good rock track. Heart Attack in a Lay-By. Love the guitar work in this from Steve, and the piano works well. Then we get my favourite track on the album, Strip the Soul. It starts off again with a bombastic bass line, and the drums come in, and then Steve comes in on the guitars. More great riffs. Collapse in the Light into Earth. The strings are brilliant on this. It really adds to this track. Nice track. This album, start to finish, it's brilliant. You put this on and you just go away with the fairies. I love that mixture of the heaviness and the ambience. It's just brilliant album. I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9.5. So, number 1. This week it's this one. I love this album. Third album, released in 1995. The Sky Moves Sideways. We've got Steve Wilson, Colin Edwin, Chris Maitland on here. That's and Richard Barberi. Opens up with The Sky Moves Sideways, phase 1. Oh, this is their Echoes. The first movement of Echoes. This goes into that sort of keyboard guitar tainted piece. It blows you away. Dislocated Day. Again, it starts off with a bit of a phone call. We're going back to the wall there with them little bits. I've got some silky guitar. Vocal on here is really gets you into the track. Fantastic stuff. The Moon Touches Your Shoulder. A great bass line from Colin. Lots of little delicate guitar touches on this. Pastiche. But what adds to this is that acoustic guitar. Solid stuff. Prepare Yourself. Very short interlude piece. Nice soloing on the guitar. Moon Loop. I love this. This was supposed to be an improvisation piece that they just went in and did. If it is, this is brilliant. If they just said, well, let's go and see where this takes us. Wow. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. 17 minutes of pure progression. Off. Then we get the Side Move Sideways phase 2. Carries on with that theme like in Echoes. Some great guitar work in this. It's difficult to say which of the two movements of this are the best, so I'm going to just say I think both pieces of this are the best thing on this album. It's just terrific. The drumming on that is superb. To me, this is one of the most interesting and best albums I've heard in a long time. This is just modern day, well, for the 90s, of great progression rock. I think they've drawn on some great bands: Pink Floyd, Tangerine Dream, Hawkwind. 3 great bands, and they've put this together. It's an album that I can sit and play and play and play. I love it. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9.6. Okay, a really good one to do, Porcupine Tree. I know there's a lot of Porcupine Tree fans out there. Love to know what your rankings are, so put them in the comments below. If you like what we're doing and this is the first time you're watching us, subscribe so you don't miss out on the stuff. We've got plenty on. There's stuff going on every day of the week. So come and join the fun. This week we're just having a bit of fun. Normally, you know, I've got bits behind me. This time I've turned around the album covers. So if you think you know what they are, put them in the bottom and I'll tell you to put you out your miseries on the live stream on Thursday. Okay, I'll be back later with a classic album, and today we are looking at Paul Simon's Graceland. So I'll see you for that. Take care for now.